Well, if you thought the world couldn't get any crazier, try this on for size. There's a conspiracy theory sweeping the globe that coronavirus is caused by 5G technology.
Recently, emergency services in the UK have had to deal with a spate of attacks on mobile phone masts, motivated by conspiracy theories linking coronavirus to 5G.
Completely false information. There is no scientific basis to it.
But these conspiracy theories spread rapidly through social media.
There is no conclusive evidence showing a link between exposure to radiofrequency radiation and COVID-19 at this time, and as such, Stop 5G Perth are not willing to make this claim, nor do we condone vandalism. Many of the concerns surrounding 5G prior to COVID-19, however, stem from industry admitting that the technology has not been assessed for safety.
How much money has the industry committed to supporting additional independent research? I stress independent research. Is that independent research ongoing? Has any been completed? Where can consumers look for it? And we're talking about research on the biological effects of this new technology.
Thank you, Senator. I think, thank you for your focus on the issue. Safety is paramount, and as you alluded to, we rely on the expert agencies, we rely on the findings of the FDA and others as to the requirements to keep all of us safe. There are no industry-backed studies, to my knowledge right now. Happy to visit with you as to what opportunities you think there needs to be more studies, and we're always for more science. We also rely on what the scientists tell us.
So there really is no research ongoing. We're kind of flying blind here, so far as health and safety is concerned. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And that the methods of safety testing for previous generations of telecommunication networks take into consideration the thermal or tissue heating effects only, whilst ignoring all other mechanisms of harm, which directly contradicts thousands of peer-reviewed studies demonstrating harm at non-thermal levels. For example, the specific absorption rate ignores non-thermal effects and accumulated dose, both of which we will be exposed to in an Internet of Things saturated future. The plastic mannequin head used in this method is based upon the top 10% healthy US soldier, and is not the size of an average person and certainly not a child. This may not seem significant, however, given our current situation with COVID-19, if we were to only show a study based on a 100 kilogram healthy male, whilst dismissing variables such as age, underlying health issues, and environmental conditions, etc., we would most certainly not be confined to our homes right now.
Like other mobile tech before it, 5G uses radio waves to work. But in comparison to 4 or 3G, the frequencies can be a bit higher. And this is where much of the confusion and concern over 5G's risk to health comes from, as higher frequencies do carry greater radiation risks. But let's add a bit more detail here. This is the electromagnetic spectrum, and there's a pretty simple way to separate safe radiation from unsafe radiation, which is this.
Higher wavelength than visible light, ultraviolet, all the way up to X-rays and gamma rays, is ionizing radiation and is dangerous. That is the dangerous radiation that most directly for humans, the problem is it damages DNA and causes cancers, but it also does more direct damage at the more energetic ends. Non-ionizing radiation, the main effect it has is it heats things up. That's why a microwave oven works in part, but it also means that it's much easier to set limits. If the energy is not enough to heat things up to a dangerous level, it's not dangerous.
Although it is true that reducing the energy output of non-ionizing radiation reduces its ability to cause tissue heating effects, the assumption that this mechanism is the only way non-ionizing radiation can cause harm directly contradicts findings from non-industry funded studies. For example, the Ramazzini Institute conducted a study analyzing the effects of radiofrequency radiation on over 2,000 rats, at levels well below US Federal Communication Commission limits. The study was specifically designed to test the safety of cell phone tower emissions, exposing the rats to 19 hours per day. Their findings included clear evidence of tumors in the hearts of male rats, as well as some evidence of tumors in the brains, both of which were also found in a previous study by the US National Toxicology Program. This study is particularly concerning as 5G technology requires the deployment of millions of small cell antennas every 50 to 200 meters in high-density populations to ensure adequate coverage, as well as countless antennas from base stations, satellites, and IoT devices such as cell phones, wireless smart utility meters, smart televisions, and other household smart appliances, self-driving cars and buses. Even unnecessary and absurd things such as
hundreds of billions of microchips connected in products from pill bottles to plant waterers.
This mesh of wirelessly connected IoT devices has also sparked widespread concern in the fields of privacy and national security, according to Swiss Re, the world's second largest reinsurer and expert in risk management. Quote, traditionally, IoT devices have poor security features. Cyber exposures are significantly increased with 5G, as attacks become faster and higher in volume. This increases the challenge of defense. There are also worries about privacy issues, leading to increased litigation risks, security breaches, and espionage. Interruption and subversion of the 5G platform could trigger catastrophic, cumulative damage. The focus is not only on hacking by third parties, but also potential breaches from inbuilt hard or software backdoors. End quote. For more information on privacy and security concerns, check out James Corbett's short video, episode 358, The 5G Dragnet, found at corbettreport.com. As a result of the aforementioned peer-reviewed studies demonstrating harm at non-thermal levels being ignored by industry-backed science, independently funded scientists are speaking out and have done for decades, with over 1,000 physicians signing the Freiburg Appeal in 2002, expressing serious concerns of the widespread use of wireless technology, while relying solely on industry-funded science and compromised regulatory agencies to determine safety standards. More information can be found in our video presentation, link in the description below. While 377 scientists from over 40 EU countries signed the 5G appeal, addressed to the EU calling for a halt on all 5G technology, with countless others whose concerns fall on deaf ears. Meanwhile, the Australian government convened a parliamentary inquiry into the deployment, adoption and application of 5G, while simultaneously accelerating the rollout, receiving a total of 537 submissions from scientists, doctors and concerned citizens, the vast majority opposing the rollout. 6 public hearings took place over the course of a few months, with clear bias against anyone with concerns. Pro-5G speakers were given a total of 45 minutes to present and answer questions, and in their locality allowing them to present in person. 5G critics, on the other hand, were given 45 minutes between 3 participants, equaling only 15 minutes each, and were allocated a hearing in a different state, forcing them to present via teleconference. One question asked by a representative of We Say No to 5G in Australia was, quote, how are the members of this committee qualified to examine the opposing evidence that has been presented to them, and to make a decision that will affect every man, woman and child in Australia? Are they getting advice from experts on the subject? And are those experts independent from our Panzer? End quote. This question was not answered at any point during the hearing. On reading the final report, the answer was apparent. The committee was advised by our Panzer, and ironically, entered under our Panzer's list of exhibits, was the 23-page letter by Dr. Martin Paul addressing our Panzer. In this letter, he stated that our Panzer provided, quote, not one iota of evidence that its exposure standard is based on scientific research, or that it protects us from any, let alone all harmful effects, nor that it protects people of all ages and health status against all known adverse effects of radiofrequency exposures. End quote. For more information on Dr. Martin Paul's letter addressed to our Panzer and an extensive look at the scientifically based concerns surrounding 5G, check out our video presentation, link in the description below. The following are some key points from the inquiry's final report. Quote, the communication of the reality of 5G has been neglected, however, allowing fears over health and safety, the technology involved, and the application of 5G to take hold. Misinformation has filled the vacuum, and public confidence in 5G has been shaken. Community perception of health risks, privacy loss, and negative effects of relying on technology are relatively widespread, with a number of inquiry participants putting their views forward. Inquiry participants advocated for the deployment of 5G to be stopped and asserted that 5G was not in the interest of the public. The committee has heard the concerns of inquiry participants who voiced strong opinions on the deployment of 5G, which are not necessarily supported by scientific evidence. The committee notes that a number of inquiry participants have called for a moratorium on the deployment of 5G. In contrast, representatives of the telecommunications industry stated that 5G was not optional. and consider that 5G would allow solutions to some of the most compelling challenges at a global and national level. Better communication of the safety of 5G has been implemented by the Australian government through the announcement of a campaign to build community confidence in 5G safety. End quote. It must be noted that this $9 million taxpayer-funded propaganda campaign was launched over 4 months prior to the conclusion of this inquiry. You may recall a recent video we did on the subject. Now, let's take a big step back and think. Given the potential of this technology, with everything we interact with on a daily basis being connected to a mainframe, from our cell phones, baby monitors, cars, fridges, televisions, buses, trains, from our homes to workplaces, security systems to police databases, from food production to water supply, from credit cards to medical info, from facial recognition to artificial intelligence, even you and me. Who will have remote access and control? The Australian government, who has proven time and time again of their incompetence and corrupt dealings with sensitive information? Or maybe these maniacs? Or maybe artificial intelligence, a machine, an analytical mind void of anything resembling empathy, a programmable entity. Considering all the draconian measures being implemented worldwide and the deconstructing of our rights to privacy and freedom of movement, and the fact that it only took a few decades to go from this to this, how long will it take from us to go from this?
From air conditioners that you can control with your smartphone, to smart cars providing the shortest route, or your smartwatch which is tracking your daily activities. IoT is a giant network of connected devices. These devices gather and share data about how they're used and the environment in which they're operated.
To this.
Now Big Brother meets Big Data. In trials across the country, cameras and spyware are watching, mapping your digital footprint to every step you take. What you do, say, and even think is being monitored and marked against you.
The party calls it social credit, a personal scorecard for 1.4 billion citizens, rewards for good behaviour and punishments for bad.
Facial recognition, body scanning and geo-tracking, matched with your personal data and online behaviour, will power the social credit system, leaving no dark corner to hide in. Her score could even change in real time, depending on what she puts in her trolley. Buy a lot of alcohol suggests dependence. Lose a couple of points. Buy a pack of nappies, gain a few, suggests responsibility. Late on mortgage payments or your tax return, lose a lot more. Who you date and ultimately partner with will also affect your social credit. Dan married for love, but she also chose the right husband. Zhang Xiaojing's score is likely to be even higher than hers. Xiaojing is a civil servant with the Justice Department, a loyal cadre of the party.
Or this.
Meanwhile, some schools offer glimpses of what the future of high-tech education in the country might look like. These headbands measure each student's level of concentration. The information is then directly sent to the teacher's computer and to parents. The device is made in China and has 3 electrodes, 2 behind the ears and 1 on the forehead. These sensors pick up electrical signals sent by neurons in the brain. The neural data is then sent in real time to the teacher's computer. So while students are solving math problems, a teacher can quickly find out who's paying attention and who's not. A report is then generated that shows how well the class was paying attention. It even details each student's concentration level at 10-minute intervals. It's then sent to a chat group for parents.
What would be the consequences of a security breach or a simple glitch in the system? What would become of those who lose their jobs due to mass automation? What would warfare look like in a society such as this? These are the questions that must be asked before any plans for a worldwide interconnected digital matrix that will affect every man, woman, child, beast, bird, and tree is implemented. Which brings us to this bullshit. Don't even get me started. For more information on transhumanism, check out this video from Truthstream Media, or literally any other report they've produced in the past 2 years. Angry yet? You should be. So, with all of that said, what do we do about this madness? We Say No to 5G in Australia.com is an online database of Australian 5G activist groups and useful sources of scientific information. Simply find your local group or start one yourself, and follow us on Facebook for updates on the latest strategies to keep this threat to life and liberty out of your community. Perth for Safe Technology Facebook group recently provided updates on chosen paths of action. Quote, as currently displayed in Mullumbimby, all of our efforts have yielded limited to no results in regards to slowing or halting the rollout of 5G infrastructure. Yet they have provided important insights into where our power as individuals lies. Thanks to the hard work and persistence of many individuals in the Stop 5G network, we are now able to see the issue with greater clarity and find ourselves in a better position to respond to government and industry effectively. The 5G issue, among many others, is being implemented through unlawful legislation and unconstitutional means, with the supreme law of the land providing possible means of remedy to those that understand it. With these greater understandings, we aim to transform our letters, emails, and other actions into powerful notices that cannot be ignored. This layer we are not told about, with government discouraging such education, and it is from this level we must work, and work swiftly. The Know Your Rights group is an excellent resource for this type of understanding and action. The legal versus lawful concept, the My Will process, and the templates for notifying individuals, all of which are applicable to all areas of concern. The founders of Know Your Rights group have spent years researching and are passionate about sharing this knowledge with others. For more information on Know Your Rights group, visit their website at www.knowyourrightsgroup.com.au and check out our interview with the group founder on our Choosing Freedom YouTube page. Going deeper, we have the Empower movement. Quote, whether it is unsafe trespassing technology or other unwanted interventions, the Empower movement can help you reclaim your authority with the use of our commercial administrative process that anyone can use. End quote. This commercial administrative process is centered around the unique Notice of Liability. Quote, the Empower Notice of Liability works according to ancient commercial rules and processes and higher jurisdictions. This is the same set of rules that corporations, including corporate governments, use to establish contracts that rely on our silence as tacit agreement or some form of uninformed consent. Because we are indentured through our birth certificate, which creates for us a corporate name, we have also become merchants and are therefore bound by law merchant customs and processes. Although at first this may appear to be an adverse situation, positive results can be achieved with the Empower Notice of Liability. End quote. It is highly advised that all individuals concerned with the 5G issue take the time to watch Empower Episode 1, A Mass Action of Liability. This can be found on YouTube and is an excellent uplifting resource that has provided hope for many. From there, we urge you to join us on the Empower community platform found at www.empowermovement.com. Certified building biologist Deanne Hislop, armed with over 20 years experience in the environmental health arena, has created a 10-part video series on how to mitigate radio frequency exposure in the home. From choosing the right modem to economical ways of hardwiring your internet connection and safe wireless technology practices. Find out more at www.buildingbiologywa.com.au. The Full Circle Project is an online hub for concerned citizens to meet and coordinate within their communities. Simply sign up and find people in your area. Choosing Freedom is a Perth-based action-orientated community group focused on implementing non-conventional paths of action. With less than desirable returns seen on the political level, Choosing Freedom aims to grow and support community energy that can be used to achieve tangible results through less known paths. Look for our group on Facebook. For more video content like this, subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to click the bell. Considering YouTube's new censorship policies, we also have a backup channel on bitchute.com. Thank you for watching. These are undoubtedly unprecedented times. As we are coming close to the wire, and there is not much else to say in regards to 5G, this will be my last video. From here on, my energy and focus will lie solely in the aforementioned solutions. As always, you can find me on steemit.com under Insubordinate. Good luck, and may God be with you.